What's up, Journey More? Today, not only am I going to show you how to split firewood, but I'm also going to show you a few different methods, and then also what the best tool is for you while you're splitting. So let's get started.
Hey now, take a step outside and seize the day now.
First things first, you gotta make sure safety is a priority. Having some good boots. Some people also prefer to wear pants, such as jeans. I don't necessarily like pants, so I'm wearing shorts. And then lastly, having some safety glasses, making sure that you're wearing these while you're splitting. However, we've only got one pair, so I'm gonna have to give them to my camera lady. That way she's safe just in case anything happens. Now in splitting wood, you've got to choose the right tool. A lot of people, they're going to pick up an axe. And an axe is great because it's very light and it's sharp. The bad thing is it's not wide enough in order to make the split all the way down the piece of wood. So really, an axe is not made for splitting wood. This is more for chopping trees in half, not necessarily splitting firewood. So we're actually not going to use this. Now what most people do is they use what's called a splitting maul. So a splitting maul is a huge head. So this one is a hammer on one side, and then it's got the blade on the other. And you've also got more width here that's going to make that split as it goes down the piece of wood. However, this is a lot heavier, and so it's going to slow down your swing. Really, this is a great tool for it, but I actually don't use this either. Now, when you've got those big logs, such as this one here, if you're trying to split something this large, a great thing to use is a sledge hammer and a wedge. The thing that I have found to be the very best is Fiskars has made the ultimate combination of a splitting maul and an axe, and this thing is incredible. I've had it for a year now, and I've split a lot of wood with it, and this bad boy is awesome. Couple of things: it's this hard carbon fiber like plastic that is very tough, very durable, but it's hollow in the inside, which gives all the weight to the top. The other great thing about it, it combines the axe edge with the maul width. It's going to split the wood because of the width of the wedge. Also, there's no weight back here. It's not a huge hammer on the back, so you're going to be able to swing this a lot faster. So this really is the combination of everything that makes pretty much the perfect tool. Well, we'll leave a link in the description down below to this and a couple of others that you might find really helpful and really good, but this right here is really the crown jewel. So now let's talk about method. There's really two main methods to splitting wood: vertical and horizontal. And really it just depends on what the size is of the log, and then also if you've already split the log into a couple of pieces, from there you might want to change your method. Now when I first start splitting logs, I do the vertical method. So I've got a nice stump down here. That way when I hit this log, it goes into a solid base rather than going into the ground, because if it's just on the ground, it's going to absorb a little bit of that impact. You're not going to split as easy. Other thing that you have to keep in mind, you want to go ahead and look at the top of your log that you're splitting and see if there's any natural cracks or splits. So as we see here, I've got one here. So I want to make sure that my axe is coming down in that split. The other thing is, I want this to not hit the middle, but to hit the edge. If your axe goes into the middle, the handle will eventually stop it. So that's why I want to hit on the edge, so that way this blade can go all the way through. Another thing you have to look for is knots. As you can see here, there's a bump here. This is a knot. It's very hard to split knots. You want to make sure your knots are at the bottom when you're splitting vertically. When it gets to the knot, there's already a lot of force. That way it'll split that knot open. When you're splitting, your form, Form is key in splitting firewood. It's a lot more important than strength. There's a lot of big, strong guys that can't split wood nearly as well as a smaller guy like me, and that's because their form is just not good. So when you're splitting, you want to stay back about the length of your axe to your hand. So right here, I'm probably about 6 feet from this. I'm going to start with my hands spread. One up here next to the head, one here down next to the base. I'm going to have my feet about shoulder width apart, 1 foot in front of me, and then from here, I'm going to swing the axe over my head, drop my hands, and let the weight of the axe come down and split through. Some people, they'll do this. The problem with that is you're using a lot of your lower back in a negative way. So if you do this a lot and you do it over time, it's going to cause problems in your back. You want to use the rotator cuff of your shoulders and use your arms and your legs to make the split, not your back. So again, foot in front of me, shoulder width apart, so bend your knees a little bit, come up, over, and down. That's going to create as much force as possible in order to make it through the log. Just like that. From here, I'm actually going to use the horizontal method. I'm going to split this wood as it lays here. It's going to hit the edge, and it's going to split it all the way up. Same form, same everything. And the great thing about this is you can actually split this into smaller pieces, just like this. And this is great for when you're first starting your fire. Now the horizontal method, so rather than laying this log just flat on this base, I'm actually just going to prop it up on another log. So what I'm going to do here, into the edge that's up here, and it'll split down the middle. So this works well. Some people argue that this is actually better than the vertical method. For me, just in my experience, vertical then horizontal works best. With a really large log like this and anything bigger, this may not be enough. When placing the wedge, just a little tip, if you go ahead and get a hit with the axe, as I did here right on the edge, it kind of just helps set the wedge. So I've got a little placement there. Now I'm going to hit it with the sledgehammer. If you're a beginner, this may be hard to hit as you come over the top. So if you need to, you just hit it like that. And as you can see, and that split right there. Rather than putting the wedge back in, I'm actually just going to take my axe and I'm just going to run it in the middle of the split there. Sometimes you just got to rip it apart. Again, this is a great tool. If you guys want one for yourself, we'll leave some links in the description below for this and also some other tools. Make sure you check those out. Thanks for watching. This was a great, fun video. We hope it was helpful to you guys. We'd love for you to be a part of the Journey More community. Hit that subscribe button and that notifications button because we got a lot of good stuff coming out, especially for the fall. So stick around for that, and we'll see you guys next time.